Hey, family, peace and welcome back to the Sacred Sister Circle podcast with me, your girl, Desiree D. Ray Wise, spiritual healing coach, oracle, intuitive guide, and I am so glad to be back. This is episode 6, and today we are going to be talking about consciousness now and consciousness in the future, right? What's happening now with consciousness and what can you all expect to happen in the very near future, right? The world is changing, things are happening fast, and I got my good sis Tashika, also known as Naturally Natured, on today, and I just feel, sis, that you are going to give us some powerful insight about what's to come, what's to expect. And I'm excited about this build. I'm excited about this build because I feel like a lot of people are going to have a lot of opinions on, what they feel energetically. And I feel like as women, we just have this magical ability to kind of prophesy, see into the future, and understand things that are unseen that maybe other people can't. And so that's what we're going to be getting into today. I want to take a moment right now before we get into it and say thank you to everybody who's been supporting the Sacred Sister Circle podcast. Shout out to all the Sacred Sister Circle members. Let me know in the chat where you're coming from. How long have you been tuning in to my work? I want to know those things because I want to forge and build a relationship with you all. So again, thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and get into this juicy topic. Tashika, just start off saying hey to the family.
Hey everyone, thank you so much, D-Ray, for having me. I want to thank you for this series also. I think it's so awesome that we're able to see women in all different walks, walking their spiritual unique journey. And I love that you're shining light on that. I'm in the kitchen cooking, I'm listening, and I'm relating, and I'm feeling, and I just love it. I just love it. I feel it feels all inclusive, and I want to
Yeah.
thank you for setting that up and bringing this to light for
Yeah.
women like us.
Thank you, sis. It was a channel, it was a download, and I'm glad that I listened and I literally enjoy every bit of it. And so I'm glad to have you here now because, we've talked many times in the Patreon and the private community. And every time you talk to Shika, you always say something that's like groundbreaking, and we always get like this aha moment. So, shameless plug here. If you do not have a spiritual community that keeps you grounded, connected, and that supports you, join Dream and I's Patreon because we get
Yes,
busy and you never know, you may be featured on the Sacred Sister Circle podcast, like
yes.
my good sis Tashika is. Tashika, listen, how did you come into consciousness? That's the first question that I have for you because we talk all
What
the
a great
time.
one.
And I don't think that we've had that conversation. And let me tell you, I want to differentiate spirituality from consciousness. So let me plug that because life is spiritual, right? Before you even knew you
Yes,
were a spiritual being, spiritual things were happening. But
yes,
there comes a point in our lives where we become deliberate about living spiritually, and that's what I call
yes,
consciousness. So when did
yes.
that happen for you? When you said, you know what, I'm choosing to live this life.
To live this way. That's beautiful. I call that awareness.
Mm,
When did I choose to be consciously aware? When did that awareness, that veil become lifted, right?
yeah, yeah.
So, like you said, and that was beautiful because that was going to be the first thing I said, is that when I fully decided to dive in and live my life spiritually, I
Mm,
realized that I had always been a
mm,
spiritual person. I had
mm,
always been that, but I
mm,
was now choosing to walk in those steps. So, like I said, it always brings it full circle to, man, I've always been down this
mm,
road.
mm,
But I can remember back the specific moments.
mm,
I was a boy mom. Right. I had two boys, two amazing boys. And, as a little girl, I always wanted to have a daughter. And I used to say, God, if you choose, it's up to you now. I'm
Mm.
not asking, but if you choose, I'll take her.
Mm.
I got my little girl. We worked hard
Mm.
for her, got my little girl. And in wanting to be the best that I could be for her,
Mm.
it made me start to look at
Mm.
myself, to look at all the little things. How am I a woman? How am I feminine?
Mm.
What is the
Mm.
reflection, and what am I going to be passing on to her?
Mm.
That was the door opener. At the
Mm.
same time, my son, my middle child, he was born 4.5 months early.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a thing. I
Mm.
was 5 months. Consider being
Mm.
5 months and giving birth. you
Mm.
know that was a life-changing event for sure.
Mm.
But during this time, we're going through, what's the best for him. Of course, he was diagnosed with, oh, he's gonna have this, that. He has nothing. Perfect
Mm.
vision, wonderful everything, you know wonderful. So thankful for that.
Mm.
And where he comes into play is because his digestive system, being born so early, things were, a little bit
Mm.
different than the
Mm.
normal child.
Mm.
So I had to relearn everything that I thought I already knew about
Mm.
nutrition,
Mm.
food, eating, everything, the
Mm.
whole entire gambit. Because
Mm.
here I had this child who was, sick, who needed that. I couldn't go the traditional route.
Mm.
The doctors were telling me when he was 4 months, but really 1 month. So he was
Mm.
4 months to his due date,
Right.
but really 1 month, really, you know what I
Right.
mean? It's right.
Right. I understand.
So,
Yeah.
right. So 4 months, the pediatrician is telling me, hey, you need to feed the baby food. And I'm like,
Mm.
food? Like, and I
Mm.
did. I did, because I was not consciously aware at
Mm.
this time. And I did, and I'm feeding my baby who looks like a 1 month old, who, and he's throwing up profusely.
Wow.
And I mean, imagine The Exorcist. No lie, we went through maybe a year with him throwing up daily 8 to 12 times.
Mm. Wow.
But I'm following, and I'm calling the pediatrician, and I'm at every appointment. I'm there. It's not working.
Mm.
And in allowing that door to open, because before, in the world of Christianity, oh, you do not allow that door to even
Mm.
open.
Yeah. Yeah.
you
You just
know
listen. You just abide.
you right.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not supposed to do the astrology and all these things that I always had a love and propensity for anyway.
Mm. Yeah.
Always.
Me too.
You
Me
know what
too.
I mean? But so you don't want to open that door too large, because then you're gonna let all the crazy in, all the chaos and everything.
Yeah.
There came a point, and all of this is circled around even Trump being in office, Trump
Mm.
getting in, the whole thing. It was a cluster of chaos that hit me to my inner center, that
Mm.
I said, this can't be real. This
Mm.
this 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 is not it.
Mm.
And there had always been that inner yearning, that inner
Mm.
calling, that inner me that was like, when are you gonna listen to me?
Yeah.
When are you gonna
Wow.
listen to me?
Right.
When you gonna listen to me in here? In here,
Mm.
me, who knows your child, who knows and governs you.
Mm.
Is the president in here with you saying, hey, don't do that? No.
Right.
So you have to do that. Oh, okay. When are you gonna listen to me? I
Yeah.
allowed that door to open, and honey, I've been lost ever since, and I love it.
Mm. Mm.
I chose to run towards everything that they said was bad, scary, the devil, the what, anything they said don't go there, I went there. because I had
Mm,
to take my power back, because I had to see why. Why is it
right,
so bad? Why?
right,
What? Let
right.
me see. Let me be the judge of
Mm,
why this was so bad. So I went to the depths. I went to whatever you think is the scariest in spirituality, occultism. I went there. I said, nope, nothing, nothing has control over me and my being. This is my game.
yeah,
This is my game. I get to choose. I
yeah.
love scary movies. So you're not going to really scare me
Yeah,
too
yeah,
much.
yeah. That was never me. I never loved scary movies,
Oh,
but
man.
I love what you're saying, and I get it. It's like you were looking at your life and you were seeing that things were not working out. These doctors are telling you, do this for your baby, do this for your baby. You can clearly see he's in distress.
Right.
And your higher self, your spirit, that God that dwells within you is telling you there's something different. There's another way. Tap
Mm-hmm.
in. What does your
Yes.
spirit say? And so,
Exactly.
from things like that, and then, of course, having a daughter and wanting to instill in her the highest vibration of love, power, confidence, that's how you
Yes.
decided, okay, I am going to go down this path of know thyself.
Know thyself.
Yeah.
Know
That's them.
thyself.
Hmm. I kind of started my spirituality, well, my consciousness journey, because, like I said, everything, I love how your name is naturally natured. And for some reason, I wanted to say spiritually natured, because
That too.
spirituality, exactly, spirituality is our nature. And
Yes.
even since we were children, we were always doing spiritual things, and spiritual things were always happening. Even with your son and his birth experience, I'm sure that whether you've done it or not, he will in his future have an understanding on what that meant for him spiritually. You know what I mean?
Yes.
How that served his spiritual journey. So spirituality is always happening, but then there comes a time in our lives where we consciously decide, I am going to be a deliberate creator of my reality, or co-creator of my reality. I am going to choose how I perceive reality. I'm going to choose how I want to think, how I want to feel, how I want to move. And I'm no longer just going to follow these rules and these standards and this false sense of reality that we've been
Yes.
indoctrinated with. And so for me, that journey started consciously in college, right? I remember a homeboy of mine who I will always have love and appreciation for, because he gave me the book The Secret. I don't
Mm.
know why he gave me this book. I don't know why. I still don't know why, but he gave me that book and I read it, and I just was so engulfed. And I know that it was spirit. I know that it was my higher self that was opening up this world to me, because in college I wasn't reading books. Hell, I didn't even read the books that the teachers gave us to
That
do
you were
our work.
supposed
I was
to.
just winging it. Right?
Yes.
So for me to sit down and read a book from cover to cover and just be hungry for it, that to me opened up the rabbit hole. And then I kind of, after reading The Secret, oh, okay, the mind is all law of attraction, think about what you want. I kind of let it go. I didn't really give it a lot of attention. I had it, but I didn't really operate it consciously. And then I remember graduating and experiencing depression and loss and trauma and things like that. And then that's when I decided, okay, the way that I'm thinking is not the way that I'm supposed to be thinking. It's not from the highest vibration, it's not from love. And I don't have to keep thinking this way, right? Like I can change
Mm-hmm.
these thoughts and I can think thoughts that are of power. And that's what kind of opened up my rabbit hole. It went from depression to meditating every day, and then Dream and I reconnected, and it has just been a beautiful, beautiful journey ever since then, right? So I think we all have a powerful um, reason as to why we choose to embark on this journey. And so, ladies who are listening to this video, let us know in the chat, or let us know in the comments how you came into consciousness and why you decide to follow along on this journey. So, Tashika, um, I want to know from your opinion, because we had a conversation a while back and you were talking about how you were seeing or visioning consciousness and people coming into consciousness, right? People like intuitively knowing, right? People who may still be at church, people who may, they don't have a clue in the world about what the law of attraction or manifestation or subconscious mind, they may not know anything about that. Spirits and spirit guides and ancestors, they may not know anything about that, but there's something shifting that is
Mm-hmm.
calling people
Mm-hmm.
towards it. What do
Yes.
you think that is? What do you think that call is? Where do you think consciousness is headed? What's actually happening?
I'm so happy you asked that. Um, it's such a great opportunity to get this message out, and I hope people hear and understand. No fear mongering. Just truly understanding the energy of nature, the energy
Mm-hmm.
of where we are, on this earth, and the ascension and everything that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if everyone else can feel it. I assume that we can with everything going on at the different levels and depths and degrees that we are,
Mm-hmm.
that we've all felt an intensity,
Mm-hmm.
uh, a speeding up of the train, if you will.
Yeah.
And this intensity is not bias. It's not things are getting worse. It's not, or rather, it's not only the perception of things getting worse or things getting better. It's just across the board,
Yeah.
intensity. This
Mm-hmm.
intensity comes from the overall vibration of the overall earth, rising.
Mm-hmm.
We are rising.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is intensifying.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where I heard it, whether it was here. I think it was here with you and Miyoshi, where you
Mm.
guys said that your vibration is your protection.
Mm, absolutely.
And it absolutely is. Like,
Yeah.
please, all who hear our voices, if you are fearful of someone getting you, if you are fearful of life and what you may experience, raise your vibration. Sing a song, dance,
Yeah. Yeah.
what raise your vibration. You know what I love to do when I'm out and shopping, and sometimes it's great, and sometimes you need a little pickup. You want the energy to shift for you. If I'm out, I will either grab my phone, or I like to have a little picture in my wallet or on my purse of a baby, a baby that I
Mm.
love, my nephew,
Mm.
my little children. How can you not smile at at a picture of a baby, or a little quick, that just raises your vibration in that quick moment. And if you know how to just sail through that,
Yeah.
with that, rather,
Yeah.
let that be the
Mm.
gateway, and you
Mm.
use that to, and then laughter. Oh my god.
Yeah.
One day I have to tell you of my experience with the energy of laughter. Oh my
Mm.
god. That was amazing. We'll get there. But
Laughter is healing for sure. Keep
oh,
going.
it definitely was. And really and truly, listen, through the worst of my moments, I'm laughing, because
Mm.
I'm not this is a video game. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When
Yeah.
you pick your character, when you're about to play Street Fighter, you're Chung Li, or
Hmm.
who have you, and that's who you're playing as. So, and you're so happy and excited for the experiences, because guess what? The higher up we go in the ascension, and even beyond this earthly experience,
Mm.
realize we don't have hands. We're not
Hmm.
experiencing life the same way. We're not experiencing it. There's no sexy time. There's no, you know what I mean? So realize that. Perfect. And I'm sorry if I'm deviating from the question,
It's okay.
but it came to me earlier. Life is like a roller coaster, right? And
Mm.
then, part of me is like, no, don't say it's a roller coaster. That's, bad. No. Life is like a roller coaster. Guess what? You stand in those lines at Disney, at
Mm.
Universal. You're going to
Mm.
stand. Guess what? I've stood in a line for an hour and a half at Disney
Mm.
to get on. that roller coaster that's
Yep.
gonna scare me, it's gonna thrill me, it's gonna have me up
Mm.
and it's gonna have me down, it's gonna turn me around. And guess what? I'm gonna get off and say, oh my God, let's do it again.
Wow. That's a beautiful analogy.
But
That's a beautiful
seriously,
analogy to
yeah,
spiritual beings deciding to incarnate into human bodies.
yeah. This is fun. This is
Mm.
awesome. Oh my, listen, there's inside of me, and no matter what I'm going through, it's laughing because it's like, oh my God, this is so awesome. Oh, how you gonna
Yeah.
figure this out? What are you
Yeah.
gonna do?
Yeah. Will
You know what
Caprew
I mean?
always says this. This happened a few weeks ago, right? Dream and I had a discussion. Okay. You know, when we say discussion, okay, we don't use the
A
word
talk.
argument because argument always has like a negative connotation, right?
Yes,
We
yes.
had a discussion. And it was funny because Will Caprew had ended up calling, and we're very vulnerable and open with our close friends, like Will, when things like that happen. And we was just like, yeah, me and him was just finishing arguing and da 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 da. And Will Caprew immediately said, both of y'all high yourselves looking down at y'all just laughing.
Laughing.
Like they think that this shit that they arguing about is really serious.
Yes.
And it
Yes.
ain't. And
Mm-hmm.
immediately when he said that, we just looked at each other and started laughing and was like, this is all. This is all. And we got in the car, we started driving to the gym, and we just laughed because we were like, this is not even real. What are
Yes.
we arguing about? What are we having this whole serious discussion about? It's not even a real thing. And
Yep.
we were able to let that go and move on. So I totally get what you are saying. And I want to go back to that question that I asked you
Thank you.
about
Thank you.
what's happening, because you trigger something in my mind also about the start of my consciousness journey. Um like I said, I had was going through a very bad depression. I was like, I don't know who I am. I had all of these emotions. My great grandmother had passed away. It was just a lot going on. And I remember getting on YouTube. Shout out to YouTube, wonderful platform when you're coming into consciousness, right?
Yes.
And I had typed in the YouTube search how to stop negative thinking. And the first person that came up was Eckhart Tolle. And I
Oh,
listened to his
yes.
video, and that's what got me started on meditating. And I bought a book from him. I bought his book. I want to even say that I went into like Barnes and Noble to buy that book. Went into Barnes and Noble, went into like their spirituality section, found Eckhart Tolle, and I got his book called A New Earth.
Mm.
And that book was talking about the vibration of planet Earth raising and literally almost in a spiritual sense shifting, right? The consciousness as we know it not being the same, the earth as we know it not being the same because the energy on the planet has changed, and that's where the new earth comes from. So when you talk about vibration and that intensity, I get it, because at the end of the day, if a person isn't vibrating fast enough, they can't make that transition, they can't make that jump. And even, let me shake some people up, Tashika. Can I shake them up real
Oh,
quick?
please do. Please, please.
This is when I got the biggest aha moment about why vibration is so important. This may get some of you, but it's okay. Your vibration is so important because when you die, meaning when you split, when you leave that physical body, where you are vibrating at will determine where you go. So if we're
Yes.
talking about heaven or hell, this is not no form of punishment. This ain't somebody saying you sinned, so you're going to hell. You did this. No. Where were you at emotionally, mentally, and spiritually when you made that transition, when you transformed, when you split, when you separated from the body? Where were you at vibrationally? If you were vibrating on love, then you're going to manifest in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
If you were vibrating in a state of fear, you're going to manifest in a quote unquote hell.
Yes.
So this is
Yes.
why vibration is so important. And this is why, like you said, it's important to always laugh and to find that joy and to not stay in those places. Because if you just think about that, like, where do I want to go when I leave this physical form? If you think about that fact within itself, you're going to say, I want to vibrate high because I want to reside in a place of love. I know
Yes.
that was probably intense, but that's the reality.
No, it very much so is. It very much so is, and you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm gonna need to plug in this laptop. I thought I had everything together, but
No worries. Go ahead.
I do want to respond right back to that. Hold on one second. Let me get the charger.
So, people in the chat, let me know what y'all think about that. How does what I just said about vibration and the transition, how does that resonate with y'all? You know, I received that download, family, as I was driving in the car. I was driving in the car and I was in a high vibration, right? I was listening to like some sort of gospel song I was listening to. And y'all overly spiritual people, don't judge. Sometimes I get back into that gospel music bag if I need to raise my vibration. And I was listening to, I want to say like the Clark sisters or something like that. And spirit just let me know instantly, right then and there, why vibration is so important. Okay. Go ahead, Tashika. What's your
Oh,
perspective on that?
thank you so much for that. Forgive me.
No
All right.
problem.
So, man, vibration, resonance. It's so important. It's interesting. My spirit guides, all of that, whatever you choose to call it. But for me, it's my spirit has been taking me on, I don't know, class 102, 103 when it comes
Mm,
to resonance and the vibration. Um, it's so incredibly important. Anything
mm,
that you're seeing and experiencing in your life, you need to really look back. Anything that you don't like, you need to look back at that mirror and see what are you radiating? What is your
mm.
resonant tone? But
Yes.
besides that, there's been a definite shift from January, and it's beginning to, it's integrating, it's mellowing, it's been mellowing, since just before we got into April.
Mhm.
It's been mellowing. We had the spring equinox, everything's been mellowing out. But we're here, we're in it. The intensity, it literally came in like a sheet, like a
Mm.
thick energy wave for me, and I could feel the intensity, and what it was saying was, hey, there's a clear divide. It's either you're
Mm.
here or you're here. It doesn't
Mm.
care where you are. It's not biased. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't care. It's just going to elevate, escalate, increase.
And accelerate.
Yes,
Mm.
wherever you currently are,
Mm.
your resonance. You know what I mean? So, you know, okay, spirit. All right, we have to get light to get light. Get light
Mm.
to get right.
Type
Whatever
that in
that.
the chat. Get light
Listen,
to get light. Get light to get right. Come on, sis.
this
Type
is
that in
for
the
real.
chat so y'all can
Listen,
remember that.
this came to me, and it came around when I was connecting in with you.
Okay.
You know, and your energy and the message that I had got. This has been from a couple months ago. Like, this is what we need to be doing. The get light. You need to be working on your body, your temple.
Mm.
You need to be working on that water, and then some more water with a side of water also. The
Mm.
food that you're eating, you need to be intentional, imbuing that vibration from your hand. Remember, output, receive, and these are the things I'm teaching my children also. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
that they know how to work their body scientifically. We
Mm-hmm.
have to understand, just because we can't see it doesn't mean we can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, imbuing that energy into the things that you're eating, because right now we are under, I hate to sound so cliche, but it is a spiritual attack. It really and truly is, from all directions and places. From the food that we eat, the
Mm.
tones and things that we hear, the
Mm.
horrific things that we're seeing,
Yes.
the purposeful distraction of the attack on the body, the different foods that attack us, molecularly, into our our DNA, everything. everything. Guess
Yep.
what? I decided several years ago to renounce it all.
Mm.
I renounced it all. I make most of my own products. My
Mm.
from my toothpaste, my laundry detergent. I took everything back because I said no,
Mm.
no, 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 no. I have been leased this body, and I've got
Mm.
to make sure that I can have it be the functioning conduit that it needs to be.
So
You know what
true.
I'm saying? The functioning
So true.
conduit. So
Mm.
you have to eat right, right? We've recently, my family and I, literally about 3 months ago, dropped the meat. We've been,
Mm.
having the meatless Monday and, toddling back and forth, but we've officially completely dropped it. My gosh, can I feel the lightness in my body,
Yes. Yes.
the easierness to be able to
Mm.
connect. It's been amazing.
Mm.
But eating, and then the temple. Food is the lowest form, the 3D version of density. Your next
Mm.
form of density are these emotional baggages, these
Mm.
scars, these things, these perspectives, I like to call them.
Mm.
Because, as we're children, we look up. Oh man, what a weird example Spirit chose to give me. Okay. As we're children, right? You're in the car, you don't know, mommy came out the car and is talking to a man at the mailbox. And they're
Mm.
talking at the mailbox, but that's not your dad. So in your head, from, whatever your perceptions, you build a perception of whatever is happening there.
Mm.
You're the child. We pick up so many of these things, these
Mm.
perceptions, without fully knowing, and we run
Yep.
with them. What? We
Yep.
build a
Yep.
whole
Build your
story.
whole life on top of that. Mm-hmm.
People go their whole life sometimes on a perception. Oh, they turned their
Mm.
back, so that meant blah blah blah. Not
Oh
they were
yeah.
turning their back to sneeze, or the simplicity of human nature. No,
Oh
we
my goodness.
immediately go to the worst. You know
Create
what I mean?
stories. Creating
Create a whole
stories.
story. Can you
Mm.
imagine? Mom is actually there talking to the neighbor. The neighbor is complaining about the grass height, whatever, right? That child has no idea, could possibly mention something to daddy. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
perception is such a it's
Mm.
man, it's the best thing we have,
Yes.
because to be able to view and emulate, understand and examine is
Mm.
amazing. But see, if you let perception and your things go crazy and just out of
Right.
whack,
Right. Oh my
what
God.
about the
Yes.
other side? What, right?
Mm.
A box has so many sides. If you're looking
Mm.
out of this purview, what about this view and that view? I always
Mm.
think about that. From I was a child, it was,
Yeah.
what about the other person's shoes? What was it like
Mm.
from their experience? Was it the same?
Yep. Yep.
So, in healing oneself, you got to go back in the closet. You have to go inside, and we must view those perceptions. Where
Yes.
were you? Do you still feel the same? Do
Mm.
you still think the same?
Mm.
Realize every 7 years we have new cells, new
Yep.
body, new
Mm.
everything inside. Our body replenishes us.
What a
So are
gift.
you,
What a
right?
gift.
It is such a gift.
Mm.
So are you still thinking the same? Have you learned? What have you inputted into your DNA? You know what I
Mm.
mean? So
Mm.
you have to clean out the vessel. So that's
Yeah.
continuing of getting light. You have to get light, clean out, forgive. Man, I remember in the beginning of my journey hearing all these catchphrases: go within, forgive, all these wonderful things. And, I really wanted to dedicate my particular channel to bringing practicality to some
Yeah.
of those aloof phrases that are said. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Because
Yep.
this is how you do it. You eat right. You eat right and you feel good about it. And that's part of your discipline. That's
Mm.
part of your discipline. You all need that discipline, that sacrifice. That's part of that. Choose to eat right. That's conscious and aware, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then from there you go inside. See the things that are no longer true for you. Clean
Mm.
house. from the inside out.
Mm.
Make yourself a proper conduit, right? Because at the end of the day, and I want to get back to topic because it all does all come full circle. You know, we when we come into spirituality, we like to throw away the manual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we know the manual. I know you know the manual. You know the manual I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And really and truly, if seen through proper lenses, true vision,
Mm.
you really
Mm.
see the true message that's here. That it doesn't
Mm.
need to be thrown away. It's actually a
Absolutely.
very, very powerful,
Absolutely.
powerful tool.
Mm-hmm.
And you realize that, in church, they tell you keep your temple clean, no tattoos, this and that. But I understand the other side, the what I call the truth. What I call the truth. I can only say that for myself, and I believe you know that too. So it is having that temple, that conduit, so that you can raise your Christed oil and activate that God temple, that God within you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have to get light to get light,
Mm-hmm.
so that to get right.
Mm-hmm.
Because once that Christ energy is activated within you, on you, listen, you're literally you see those people who are so magnetic. You guys are those people, right? You
Mm.
see those people that have everything and you're like, wow, they just seem to, you know understand how this works. It's because you have reached that stage. You've reached that
Mm.
place, that elevation. You have gotten light to
Yeah.
get right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
And
really love that.
that's literally it. And to be able to, so people are going out there and they're doing their sunbathing, they're doing their eye sun gazing, which I love. Don't forget to do your tritaka, which is to stare into the flame. You also That's a
Mm.
great activation as well for your pineal gland. But people are out here doing that on these heavy dense bodies.
Mm.
People are out here taking vitamins on these stomachs that can't absorb nothing,
That can't even digest it.
can't
Yeah.
even absorb it.
Yeah.
People are out here
Mm.
getting this gorgeous, luscious sun and can't even fully read and receive the downloads. You got to clear
Yeah.
out the junk. You got to get light to get light so that you can
What?
receive that light. And
Yes.
then everything will be right.
Yes. Oh, goodness. And so we are going through a spiritual phase right now where people who once thought that they had to have the pork, they had to have the beef, they had to go to church, where people who used to think that way are now coming into the light, and they are taking themselves through a process of getting light. A great example of that is my mother and my stepfather. They are My stepfather actually came over here yesterday. He loves coming over here talking to Dream and I because he's getting light, he's getting
Yes.
activated. So he's
Yes.
been watching like Yaki and Dr. Sabi. He's been watching all of those people, and my mama's been getting into it. And because he's the man, he can influence her, he can all
Right.
of that. And so it's so funny because I just told him yesterday, I said, man, my mom has gotten so much lighter. She used to be
Mm-hmm.
so heavy. She used to be so dense. And he was like, yeah, we've been working on it. We've been working on it. And so he came to our house yesterday, and we were leaving the house at the same time. He stops his car. He stopped. We're driving behind him. We're driving out of my neighborhood. He only had came over to drop off Kimmy's iPad. And so we're leaving out of the neighborhood together. We're behind him. He stops his car. He hops out the car. He runs out the car. He tells me to roll down the window. I roll down the window. He's like, I gotta tell you something your mama said. I was gonna call you and tell you this, but I want to tell you it in person. He was like, man, I was telling your mama about how we not eating chicken no more, and we not eating beef and pork no more, how we not eating none of that no more. And your mama just said to me, Desiree she said this. This is what he said to me. Desiree been telling you that the whole time. Desiree been telling you that the whole time. And then he said, see, your mama, she wants to grow, she wants to evolve, but she couldn't receive it from you, her daughter.
Yes.
And so once he started receiving the downloads, not just from me, but just from life, right? From him
Yes.
observing and aligning with that energy. Once he started receiving those downloads, he started sharing it with her. And now
Mm-hmm.
she's been receiving it. And now she's been changing and transforming. But he thought it was just so funny. He was like, yo, mama couldn't receive this from you. She needed to
Mm-hmm.
receive it from me,
Mm-hmm.
her husband, her man, that divine masculine, because we still be having those roles
Yes.
of mother and
They're
daughter.
purposeful. Listen, don't change it. It's perfect just the way it is. The
And I
Trinity.
told him that. And I told him that. I said, you know what? I ain't mad at it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I learned a lesson last year. Not last year, in 2021 when Kimmy was born. I learned the lesson that I had to let my mom be my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned the lesson that I was not going to be in that role of being her mom and teaching her and guiding her. I wasn't going to do that. I didn't need that. All of that did was add extra stress onto me that
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need to be carrying. I had to let her be my mom, especially in a time where I needed her to be that for me. I needed that love. I needed that nature, that nurturing. So all in all, what you just said is so freaking profound and it's so true. And I've been doing this work. I've been working on my gut health like crazy, right? In our
I see
household,
that.
we letting go of
Listen.
gluten. We have been doing our gut health work. I've been taking the good probiotic. And like today, all I've eaten so far is 2 kiwis, a green apple, just drank some green juice. But just, I'm telling you, they say the gut is the first brain.
It is.
You know what I
It
mean?
is. It most definitely, most positively is. Listen, through in the beginning with your first question, to bring that home with my son, with my daughter, with life just not looking like everything they said it was going to be. Right? They
Mm,
said the
mm,
days. Right?
the vase.
The days. I like I said, I opened that door and I decided to let myself explore.
Mm,
And in going through all of that, learning about the food, everything with my son, I ended up losing like 70 pounds. My husband lost like 72 pounds. So ecstatic. And then I came into a place where my density, I was getting lighter,
mm,
and the numbers started.
mm.
The numbers started, and completely, once that starts in a way that you can't see, you can't, the license plate, the
Yeah,
addresses, the everything, the phone number, the
everything.
receipts,
Mm,
you
mm.
can't, when it's these same numbers, you can't refute.
Yeah,
And all of these things brought me to a place where I was following those urges, those nudges. Just like you
yeah.
said, you had that nudge to create this wonderful series.
Mm,
And in following those, it led me to a place where I was finally able to hear,
yeah.
receive.
Mm.
Started with the numbers. I went further. I also experienced The Secret years and years and years ago, and I started playing with it. I started to play
Mm.
with my energy field. Right,
Absolutely.
I started controlling the street lights. As
Mm.
we'd be going, listen, I had such complete belief and faith and knowing. I've stopped time at least for 5 minutes. I promise you. I don't care who
Yes.
believe me or who doesn't. It's
Yes.
happened.
We have that
I've
power.
Yeah, we do. I've controlled the street lights as I'm going through. No, 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 baby, green. Okay, I've done all of these things, and I say that again to say that the resonance and the importance for what
Mm.
we are going through.
Mm.
What I've said is that there is an intensity. We can say leveling up, we can say increase, but like I'm saying, it's all the way. It's blanketed, good, bad. It is completely unbiased. So
Mm.
we have to raise, or we're gonna be on the other side of that line. Okay,
Yep.
being on the other side of that line, and please understand, there is no good and bad. This just means you have more lessons to learn. You're a little hard-headed with love. Okay, and that level of life is going to experience, what we would call the 3D level of life.
Mm.
We are split into different levels of density. You know what I mean? And it's just going to be more. So if your perception of life is that it's really bad, it's just going to be more really bad. But
Right,
if
right.
right, but if you understand in your perception, and you I always leave that loophole for myself. No matter where I am feeling, because we're all human, we're all gonna go up and down. I'm aware of
Mm.
it. I can help it in that way, but that doesn't mean we don't still experience things,
Yes, yes.
right? But when you get into those moments, for me, the easiest thing is my complete utter and knowing, not belief, but knowing this is a video game. This is
Yeah.
like, and I know there's some people who see that as a controversial thing to say. And I'm sorry for those people. Forgive me. Find another word. You can do that. But for
Mhm.
me, it is
Mhm.
because we understand that we are not this body. We are the
Mm.
energy stream within. And if
Mm.
we get light to get light to get right, that automatically puts us in connection, right? Being connected to source, having that reflux of energy all the time. My gosh, what a reassurance that is for me.
Beautiful. Oh,
You
absolutely.
it's
Girl,
we
I made
can't.
a video yesterday. I made a reel yesterday talking about how value and worthiness is not connected to what you do or what you say. Because what you do and what you say, that's just connected to this realm. Value,
Mhm.
worthiness, abundance, prosperity, those beautiful things that we all desire to really withhold, is based off the depth of our connection to God, our higher self, our sacred self. And I
Yes.
had to be reminded of that yesterday because I woke up feeling okay, but feeling like, oh, haven't been doing a lot of the things that I know I need to be doing. And Spirit was like, all you need to do is focus on your connection. All you need
Yes.
to do is focus on doing those little things that make you feel so grounded and so connected to your higher self. That's all you need to
Yes.
do. Everything else
Yes.
will work itself out. So when
And
you
it
say
so
what you just
will.
said, that's the reality. In fact, this is so deep. Um, I had my senior year in college. I went to the OB. You know, as women, we go to our yearly appointments, and I had an abnormal pap smear. Now, this was scary, right? This was scary because when something like that happens, all of the information that they give you is just like scary.
Mhm.
And for a few years after that, I kind of just dealt with it, but I never decided, I never was deliberate to say I'm going to heal this. I kind of was just leaving up to happenstance, like whatever happens, happens. And maybe even numbed myself to what that really meant. But I remember, and this is how womb alchemy was birthed, because I have become deliberate and said, I am not the body. And because I am that sacred energy that dwells in the body, I can tell my cells what to do.
Yes.
And I became, I mean, gratitude was my best friend and still is. And so I would just have so much gratitude. I would send gratitude to my womb. I would just send gratitude to my entire body. And I would speak words that said, my cells are functioning at their highest level, right? My cells are divinely guided. My cells are all love. My womb is happy. My womb is love. My womb is joy. My womb is wellness. My womb is abundant. My womb is creative. I would just say all of my affirmations, and I would just feel so much gratitude that it is done. And then, I would add in kind of the human things that go with that vibration. I would add in the alignment, because when you tap into something spiritually and you add that practical, physical, human work with it, this amplifies it. So as I'm
Yes.
saying the affirmations and I'm doing my womb massages, I'm eating well, I'm taking specific herbs that help with cell regeneration. I'm doing all of those things on the physical to support the spiritual.
Yes.
I went back to that doctor, got that pap smear. Your pap smear is normal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been normal ever since. Okay? So this
Yes,
is the
ma'am.
power that we have when we take control over our vibration, right? When we decide I'm going to get light, like you said, I'm going to, and you know what? As I did that work, I started to discover, oh my God, Lord, let me tell you, this is so good. I discovered why I had even manifested that. I had manifested that because I was going against myself, right? My spirit, my higher self, um, would tell me how I was supposed to live and what I was supposed to be doing and how I was supposed to be showing up. But because of abandonment, rejection, and feeling like I didn't have control over my life, I would put myself in situations and circumstances that did not enliven me and that did not align with the God that dwells inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so boom, that manifests. When your cells start to turn and transform and they become abnormal, it's because they're not in alignment with your deepest desire. They doing their
Mm-hmm.
own thing. But as
Yes.
within, so without, as above, so below. So because inside of me, I wasn't living in my divine purpose, in my light, in my love, in following spirit, my body started to do whatever the hell it wanted to do.
Thank
And when
you.
I aligned with spirit, when I took back control, when I understood that I was a divine sacred being, when I became conscious of
Mm-hmm.
that I am divine, I am sacred, and that I am powerful, and
Mm-hmm.
that I can
And you're in
listen to the
charge.
voice. Yeah, and I can
Mm-hmm.
listen to the voice of my higher self. I can listen to the voice of my spirit, my intuition. And when I listen to that voice, everything works out divinely in my favor.
Always.
That's what ended up
Better than
happening.
what you thought. Better than what
Better.
you planned. Every
Hey,
time. Even better.
Robert Glasper has a song called Better Than I Imagined.
That's
Robert
it.
Glasper and her. Better than I imagined.
Better than I imagined. Listen, you hit that on the head in so many different ways, in so many places. When you do not direct your cells, your audience, your workers, your people, when you do
Mm.
not direct them, they do whatever they want to do.
Because
They
they're under
do
the
what
influence.
are you in my mouth? Are you
They're
you're
under
just
the
taking them? You're
influence.
just taking them. Listen, they're going to be influenced by the environment. They are
Yes.
going to be influenced by your
Mm.
environment, and let's take that into layers. They're going to be influenced by that lotion that you put on your body that
Mm.
85% within 3 seconds is absorbed into your bloodstream through your
Mm.
largest organ, your skin, right? It's
Mm.
influenced by the crazy stuff that they have in there. So if it's a item, a chemical that is meant to be destructive, what is it programming into when it's going in?
Destroy.
Destruction, right? And we wonder
Mm.
why our skin have all these things. That's one level, right?
Mm.
The next level is you're allowing your environment, the energy, the clutter, the everything to
Yep.
be absorbed into you, and that's what's directing you. What you're
Mm.
hearing, whatever you're hearing, you listening to Uzi Vert, you're getting all
Mm.
that, okay?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everything. This
Yep.
is what you are programming, and then this is what you're going to experience because we
Mm.
are the reflection. Life is we're the projector. Life is the canvas that's playing it. We're the projector though. It's coming
Mm.
from us. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? So if
Mm.
you do not direct it, encode it,
Mm.
as I like to say,
Mm.
if you do
Mm.
not become the orchestra director, honey,
Yeah.
where are you going? Do you know? Do
Mm.
you? No, you're just going in circles of lessons. And
Right.
default mode is the lowest level primary way
Mm.
of you getting your lessons until you say, hey, no, I am consciously aware.
Yes.
I am choosing everything that we do, even spiritually. Everything that we do we know at the core of this magic, you're convincing yourself.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really what this is.
Oh
You
man.
are convincing yourself this has power because I believe that it does.
Yes.
All
Yes.
of this is a convincing of oneself. My
Mm.
kids love to use my pendulums, my rods, but I explain to them, guess what? You know that energy is coming from you, right, baby? It's
Mm.
coming from you. You are, this is just a tool. It's going to be dead. It's going to be dead in your neighbor's hands.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
going to do nothing in your
Yeah. It's not
neighbor's
gonna be
hands.
activated. Yeah.
Right. Because you, everything you do, we all breathe. D Ray, we all
Mm.
breathe. We all take in the breath of life. But see, the difference is you and I know that we are breathing in chi. We are breathing in the breath of life. And it
Mm-hmm.
fills us and replenishes us. But
Yes.
you see, the next person who's taking that same breath, they're taking that breath. They're doing it. They're doing it. It's the automatic function. But if you don't have the
Mm.
knowing, the spirit
The
behind it,
consciousness,
the
the
awareness
awareness.
behind it, you're doing two different things.
Oh,
You're
come
doing two
on.
different things.
Ah.
It takes that
Mm.
awareness because that awareness means, oh, thank you. I got the reins. It's okay. I got it.
Mm.
I know what I'm doing.
Mm.
It's all right.
Mm.
I got it.
Mm. Mm.
It puts you in control in that power place. You are in the
Mm.
driver's seat,
Mm.
right? But you have
Mm.
to claim that authority. You got to
Yes.
claim that.
You better talk. You better
Okay?
talk.
Listen, I have a
Mm.
21-year-old. This
Mm.
child taught me so many things about life. I swear, when I did his chart, I learned he's actually older than me. Spiritually,
Mm.
he's
Yes.
older than me. And that child taught me so many things in the terms that you can't affect something else.
Yeah.
You can't affect you have you. And
Mm.
all you can do is radiate out, be that example.
Mm.
You know what I love? I set the intention that when I walk through the store, wherever I am, people walk through my huge, big, voluptuous aura and they
Mm.
are healed. They are
Oh,
transformed. They
girl.
are awoken ever
Mm.
so gently in their own
Mm.
time, place, and manner. Because it's not your job to do anything more than that.
What an act of
I'm
love that is from you.
Listen, but
What an act of
that's
love.
my
Wow.
contributance. This is what I can
Right.
give. But
Wow.
that's what I can give, right? And when I reach to a higher state and level, I'll be able to give on a higher state and level. But right now,
Mm.
people need, instead of becoming the next YouTube guru, they need to understand true change comes from self.
Yeah.
Be that example. I feel like I'm going
Mm.
all over the place here, but I'm allowing spirit to come through.
Let it rock, girl. Let it
Let it
rock. But
go.
no, that's absolutely beautiful. Everything that you said is so beautiful, and I'm inspired,
Thank
you
you.
know, by this conversation inspires me and it uplifts me and it gives me energy and momentum. And I just want to come back before we wrap up to something that you said that I think is one of the most important things is understanding that we, you, I are the authority of our own lives.
Yes.
And so it's so important that we own that shit and be that authority. Is it not written in your law that ye are God? Right?
Yes.
Like own that, right? And don't be afraid of owning that. And a part of owning that is being able to say, this breath is healing me, right?
Yes.
This music is raising my vibration. This food is activating something in me. Or like you just said, when I walk into a room, my aura heals people. As the authority of your own life, you get to say whatever it is that you desire, and it is so.
Yep.
Because life and death lies in the power of your own tongue.
Yes, it does.
So it's
Which,
like we
right?
gotta own that. We gotta
Yes.
own that and be so grateful to have that
Yes.
level of power. But we gotta get out of fear. We gotta get out of fear and we gotta stop thinking that we are not powerful, that we are just a mere human having this whatever experience and that everything is in control of us and that everything is affecting us. Because if we continue to live in that space and in that vibration, that's exactly what will happen. And you'll
Mm-hmm.
look at your life and you'll be like, what is this?
Yes.
You know,
But say, what have I created?
what have I created?
What
One of my
have I
Sacred Sister
done?
Circle members that I love dearly, she said this and it has always stuck with me. She said, perception is projection. So if you think that you don't have no control over your life, everything in reality is going to start controlling you.
Yes.
If you think ooh, ain't no good men out here in the world. Ain't no good men going to enter into your space, into your place. Because that is what you are projecting.
Yes.
That perspective that you have, that viewpoint that you have is what you are casting onto your reality.
Yes. If I can say, Spirit has been itching for me to say this.
Say it,
So
girl.
silly. Okay. I know you are going to, so many women are going to get a chance to see this with your beautiful, wonderful platform. Spirit just wants to say, remind, and have people understand, right? With this conversation of resonance and understanding vibration, right? Women, I'm happily married. D-Ray is too, for quite some years now. But I need all my women, single women in particular, to understand that you are going to attract who and what you are, darling. You are going to attract, I don't know who needs it, but you need to hear it.
So true.
If your spouse or the person of interest is not being faithful or not taking you 100% serious or whatever
Bringing
it is,
you along.
whatever it is,
won't commit,
won't be faithful, won't, whatever it is, stop, forget that person exists, and I want you to go spend some time in the mirror. And I want you to really analyze, where is it that you are being these characteristics that you are getting reflected back to you. So if you want a good man, you need to be a good woman. You want a faithful man, you need to be a faithful woman. You need to be what you are trying to attract to you.
You better teach.
That's it. I mean, but it's the truth. And it wasn't until I learned it. Listen. Yeah. It wasn't until I experienced the understanding. I had to go through it. Listen, I'm not speaking from everything's perfect world.
Right. That's just what it is.
That's laughable. Woo! I'm gonna cry on that one. That's laughable. Okay. Right. I had to go through some things to understand.
Absolutely.
I had to allow myself to sit with myself, to heal myself. I did not, you see, my husband was my last relationship, of course, but see, before that, I said, this is it. I need to attract my husband. I need my rock. I need my other half. I need to attract my husband. So I did, I made my list, and this man, I tell you, he's everything. I've left some things out on the list. Make it detailed, but he is every single thing that I asked for. You know what I'm saying? Make your list and then be that.
Make your list and then be that.
Be that.
Be it, girl.
Yeah. So that you can attract that. So now that I got that, Spirit, I hope that's sufficient. I got that out. So now let's get back to where we were. The energy, listen, it is so important. Where we're going is for each individual, and everyone knows in their heart. My light as a feather, or are you wrapped in that denseness? Guess what? The bills are due. It's gonna be okay. It's a video game. It's gonna be okay. You are gonna get through. Once you truly trust in the divine, once you strengthen that channel within self, man, like, listen.
So true.
Listen. And where we're going, you're going to need that. Where we're going, and I'm sure we all feel it. Everything is creeping up, and guess what? You can stay on the side of, oh my gosh, it's the end. It's, everything's falling apart. Or you can understand, after a big fire, new buds come up.
Yes.
New buds come up. If you stay there, if you stay in that place, you're with that energy and vibration. You want to grow up too. You want to grow up, the glow up too. But if you stay in the energy and vibration of, oh, it's the worst, oh my God, staying in all this fear, then that's where you're going to be. And we got to be very careful, because we've been given so much grace.
Yeah. Oh
We've been
God.
given
Yes.
so much time,
Yes. I
opportunity.
say. Thank
We've
you.
been given
Thank
so
you.
much that
Mm.
now it's like, okay, we got to turn it up just a notch. And it's going to get more intense, but you have to know you're okay.
Thank you.
Be solid ground. Woo, listen, my
Mm.
spirit guides tell, listen, water and ground constantly. I'm being told, you did you drink enough water? Did you, right?
I
Constantly.
love
Didn't
that.
I tell you that in one of your lives? My spirit said, make sure you have water.
You sure did. You sure did. You sure did say that in one of the
Listen,
lives. Yep.
you need that water.
Solid ground.
You need that solid ground. Grounding in self. You can't not know who you are now.
Wow.
So if you want to be bad, you have to commit to that, and all
Mm.
that encompasses it. If you
Mm.
want to be good, whatever that means to people, you got to commit to that and be
Yep.
and take all that encompasses with that. And please, people, also again realize that being on this journey does not absolve you from the pendulum swing. It goes
Mm.
up and down, back and forth, and it will forever. When you're here, before you was here, and when you're gone, it's still going to be doing
Yep.
this. You need to
Yep.
explain this to your children as well. That
Mm.
pendulum swing is going to happen, the up and the down, the roller coaster ride. So, are you
Mm.
going to enjoy the ride? Are you going to make it comfortable? Are you going to get a little neck brace and be happy and woohoo? Or are you going to be petrified
Or resist.
and resist? Ooh,
Mm.
listen,
Resist.
resist.
Mm.
Listen, that resistance, that's what roadblocks are made of.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
what spiritual blocks are made of. You have to trust. What
Wow.
a game. Consider you're on this game that you've chosen to be on, and you're going through all of these lessons, that pressure that's meant to turn you into that diamond. You
Mm.
asked for this, you wanted this, enjoy it. Take it with a smile. Take it as a challenge. Sometimes pain feels good.
Mm.
Is that not true? Come
It
on.
is. It is. I'm
I'm
about to
such
go
a
to the gym right now and I'm gonna be
but you're gonna feel so good about
so
it,
good about
right?
it.
You're gonna
So
love
good
it.
about it.
Yes.
So good about it.
We have to embrace all parts of us, and that's also part of getting light, is
Mm.
understand there is no condemning that other side. There,
Yeah.
all parts of you have to be accepted and loved
Mm.
and taken forward. All parts
Yes.
of you are valid and valued. Even that little kinky thought you have, all of
Mm.
it, all of it, all, and
Mm.
everything has a root that can be brought back to.
Right, right. And when you accept that, when you embrace those qualities that the world has condemned, when
Hmm.
you embrace that, it no longer controls your life unconsciously and subconsciously. It becomes
Yes.
something that you integrate and that you allow, right?
And
Allowance is
love,
a
and
big thing.
even love,
And
right?
even love, and
You
even
have
love.
to
So
love
true.
all parts of you, all parts
So
of
true.
you, you
And that
know.
comes from a deep level of trust. That comes from a deep level of trust that all things are working together,
Yes, for your
right?
favor.
In
That's
your
right.
favor. So, like you said, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater when it comes down to that good old manual, because there are some key teachings and lessons in that will set you free, that will give you peace, that will uplift you, and that will empower you. And
Yes,
so you got
ma'am.
to understand that. So, last question, Tashika, give us a song
Oh boy.
that raises your vibration, that puts you in the resonance of your power.
Oh my gosh. Can I give you a playlist?
You can give me a song or an artist, maybe.
Man, well, you guys really brought me back, with the whole earth, wind, and fire. It's so
Mm,
amazing how all of these things come in tandem, because that was already knocking on my door. And
mm.
then you guys brought that up. That was from several months ago, a couple
Yeah,
months ago
yeah.
now. Earth, wind, and fire, just, man, how can you not feel the resonance,
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
within
absolutely.
that music, for sure, for
Mm.
sure. But you know I'm an 80s baby.
Earth, Wind, and Fire it is. Go
Listen,
listen to
Earth, Wind,
some.
and Fire is great, but really and truly, I'm an '80s baby, and anything Lauryn Hill
Oh
is
yeah,
just gonna
yeah.
hit. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Anything Lauryn Hill is really and truly just gonna hit. Man, subconsciously, she really was trying to inject some confidence and some self-love
Mm.
into our people.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You
Absolutely.
can really hear
100%.
that.
100%. 100% agree. So I want to thank you, Tashika, for being my Sacred Sister special guest. This has been such a profound build that I know for sure is going to support some women in their healing, their transformation, their manifestation. And I thank you so much for being here. I want to say this is just part one because this conversation could keep going, but because I got to keep it in a certain time frame, that's the only reason why we're hopping off. But this was such a powerful build. Um, Tashika also sells products. So, Tashika, really quickly, tell the family where they can get some of your natural products where you would be able to help their cells be activated in a natural, holistic, God force kind of way.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, my company is Naturally Natured. Right now, it can be found on Amazon, eBay, Etsy, places like that. And I sell a little bit of everything. I have teas, everything, of course, naturally, from nature. Okay.
Mhm.
Also using the resonance. My products are also imbued with the BG3 energy. All of my products are infused with that, with sound, with all the love in my heart.
Yeah, 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 yeah. With all your
but
intention.
with everything, with
Mm.
everything that I have to offer, my intuitiveness. I One of the products I'm so excited about is my spiritual baths. They are
Mm.
intuitive. Through the purchase, I'm able to tap in and see what herbs and blends really are going to be best to elevate, a person and move them forward in their life, through
Beautiful.
blockages or what have you. I make natural hair oils and teas, for health and spiritual purposes. So just, check me out. I've always got new stuff going on.
I love that. And I've used these products too, family, so I can vouch for you. The oil smells amazing. I love it, love it,
Thank
love
you.
it. The spiritual bath is absolutely powerful as well. I do remember using that. And so
Yes.
y'all go support Tashika. If her energy just resonated with you, if her power resonated with you, you know you need to go over there. Naturally nature everywhere, basically. Etsy. You said eBay too?
Amazon, eBay. Yep, I'm
Amazon,
there.
eBay, all of those things. Just tap in naturally natured and you'll be able to find what you need. Again, I thank you all for joining us on the Sacred Sister Circle podcast. This is episode 6, Consciousness Now and Consciousness in the Future. Such a great build. Everything that we just discussed, you can shape your life around today and carry that with you for whatever is to come in this world and in this reality. So thank you all for being here. Peace and love. Stay tuned for episode 7. We'll talk soon. Peace, family.
Thank you.